family. 420 Club. Your boy is back. Your boy is back. I've been going for a little second. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said on the last joint, man. I really just be wanting to do other stuff. But y'all be commenting, man. Y'all still be watching these videos, man. My subscribers have still been increasing. So, I, out of respect for you guys, all the new people subbing and all of that, man, I gotta drop some new ish for y'all. You feel me? You already know off the back, we gonna do some gangster shit. We gonna tap into what's happening in these New York streets. This video from my boy Super Wario, bro. Man, hold on. Let's take a second, man. Let's just take a second. Let's take a second, man. Let's just take a second. Let's just breathe and just be grateful that we still here today. You know, let's start the video off with a little positivity. You know what I mean? 420 Club, man. I miss you guys, man. I miss you guys a lot. I went into the vault today. Come on, drop in the comments if you know what season this is. If you know what season, what's that? Where's my cop? You see that? If you know what season this is, drop it in the motherfucking joint. I think I got it around 2014, 2015. So if you know what season I got this from, Supreme, drop it in the comments, man. It's your boy noluckmacK. Now let's get into this video. Shout out to my boy Super Wario, bro. You already know you my guy. This video is Brooklyn Gang War, Cardi B Star Brim, and the 5'9" Brims, versus the real Rytes. I don't know if I did this video already. Probably while watching it, we'll probably figure it out. But I don't think I did. But I know I spoke on the real Ryte crew. Like, I already know who Brims are. I'm not gonna speak on how I know them, what I know about them. Just I know about them very closely. And real Ryte, those are some dudes I didn't hear about these dudes till later. Maybe like 2016, 2017 with the music, right? When the scamming wave was heavy, like they was on the gram looking like they getting to the bag. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, yo, who these dudes? And like everybody pretty much already knew who they was. So I was late, obviously. I was super late. I had no clue. Cause it's not like how I am now. I be in tune with what's going on to bring it back to y'all. I ain't know who the fuck them niggas was. I'm gonna come clean. But let's get into this video, man. Let me bing, bang. Here we go. Hold on, how I move it over. Oh, what I do? What's going on?
Cardi B's best friend is facing charges tonight in a sweeping gang roundup. Star Brim, whose real name is Yannette Respass, was indicted on racketeering and assault charges. They say she was the highest-ranking woman in the 5'9" Brims gang. It's a subset of the Blood Street gang.
The 5'9" Brims enterprise was a...
Yo, she Aki.
That's a subset of the Blood Street gang.
Yo.
The 5'9" Brims enterprise was a set of the Blood Street gang formed in Los Angeles, California in the early 1970s. In the 1990s, certain individual sets of the Blood Street gang, including the
Hold on, 420 Club. You already know the slogan, man. Spark that shit up, man.
Brims began operating on the East Coast of the United States, including in New York, under what was known as the United Blood Nation, also known as the
UBN.
In the early 2000s, members and associates of the 5'9" Brims broke away from the UBN and began operating under the New York Blood Brim Army, also known as the NYBBA, which was composed of, in part, multiple subsets known as hoods, which included the 5'9" Brims, the Bloodhound Brims, the MACK Brims, and the Lowrider Brims, among others. Despite having different names,
my son Super Wario, bro, be in too. My son be in too, bro, because like once upon a time with this gang shit, if you wasn't in the game, you're not supposed to know any of this shit. Like they used to really have composition notebooks where you supposed to study your gang shit, and it wasn't for the public at all. But in this day and age, man, that should just be all online, like it's nothing.
Each subset of the NYBBA, including the 5'9" Brims, maintained common tattoos, communication codes, language, and gestures. Members of every set were identifiable as Bloods because they wore the color red. The 5'9" Brims.
All the dog paws. A lot of people don't remember dog paws. I'm that old. I remember dog paws, man. I ain't even, you know what I mean?
Was a gang comprised primarily of individuals residing in and around Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, and Manhattan, New York, and elsewhere. As alleged in the superseding indictment, the 5'9" Brim set of the Bloods is a violent street gang whose members have engaged in criminal activities including drug trafficking, robbery.
5'9" Brim been around for a minute in New York City. I mean, he touching on that right now, but like I'm from Brooklyn, so like they was as a kid a big set, man. It was a big set, especially around my neighborhood, man.
Fraud, as what?
Crown Heights, Sterling, you already know.
Murder, assault, and firearms offenses. Between January 2012 and February 2020, the defendants, together with others, conspired to conduct the affairs of the enterprise through a pattern of racketeering acts, including identification fraud and access device fraud, narcotics trafficking, and multiple acts involving murder. All of the defendants' membership in the enterprise is confirmed through evidence seized from cellular telephones and social media accounts, among other sources. They engaged in communications regarding various illegal schemes designed to enrich themselves and the enterprise. In particular, the investigation revealed that the defendants made large sums of money from selling crack, cocaine, marijuana, and pills, including ecstasy and oxycodone. They often supplied each other with the narcotics, sharing in the illicit proceeds and passing part of those proceeds on to incarcerated members of the enterprise. Willie Evans was charged as the gang's godfather, or highest-ranking non-incarcerated member, and Jammer Simmons, allegedly, was the highest-ranking member of the Bronx-based Brims. Yannette Repass, which a lot of you may know as Star Brim, was the godmother of the set. She is also a good friend of entertainer Cardi B, which has been well documented. As early as 2012, the Brims was wilding. The Brooklyn set identified itself as the Bread Gang. Around
showing off that body out here.
15, they started beefing with a rival faction of the 5'9" Brim. This gang is identified as the real Ryte crew.
You niggas couldn't impress, niggas
Right.
got the bag, almost settle for less. Nigga got a Hellcat up on my neck, nigga. Tell my youngest be back in the jets, nigga. You know shit get litty. You know shit get litty. I'm not worried about nothing, cause when I'm in traffic, yeah, I keep it with me. You know shit getting litty.
The real Ryte set of the blood.
That's exactly what I was talking about. That's the shit I seen. I was like, yo, who's these guys? Like, they from Brooklyn. I never really heard of them. Because I'm uptown. I'm in Harlem at this point, so I wasn't in tune. But I'm like, yo, they pushing Lambos, Roses, and all that. Like, oh, shit. Like,
Street gang operated in Brooklyn and elsewhere. Real Ryte members were active on social media and often appended the name of the gang to their usernames, and also wore clothing and jewelry with the Real Ryte gang's double R logo on it. Easy Moolah and Real Ryte Sport are members of Real Ryte. They are also rappers for the gang. They consider themselves Woo, and go as far as claiming that Jeezy Moolah started it. Both of the gangs are known for scamming. One thing we did know, they was getting money. In October of 2015, Melvin Pippins, aka Red Gang Melly, was sitting in his car smoking some bud with a female friend. He was near the corner of Beverly Road and East 19th Street. Around 2 in the morning, another car pulled up next to them. A gunman, seated in the passenger seat, opened fire and struck Pippins in the chest. The woman in the passenger seat of the car was not injured. She ran out the car, yelling and screaming after the shooting. A few moments later,
them brothers got no names, man. Them brothers got no names. Niggas usually have no aim.
car and staggered over to the entrance of a nearby building where he collapsed and died. Millie was a co-gang member and brother of Marvin Pippins, aka MACK. December 19th, 2015. Following the death of Bread Gang Melly, MACK found himself in the Bed-Stuy section of BK on a drill. Sean Peart, aka Real Ryte S. was parked on Dean Street, near Schenectady Avenue around 4 p.m. when a white car pulled up near his Infiniti. Allegedly, MACK got out, walked up to Peart's car and opened fire, riddling it with bullets. S. managed to drive off down Dean Street, getting close to Utica Avenue before ramming into a parked Nissan. S. who had been shot several times in the chest, was rushed to Interfaith Hospital, but he could not be saved. This was the first murder charged in the indictment against the Brims. The feud led to a series of violent confrontations between the two gangs, and they sought to retaliate for the murder of Real Ryte.
FYI, this is blood versus blood. Like, this is two blood gangs.
By shooting and killing Bread Gang members at any opportunity. On January 3, 2017, allegedly, Real Ryte members, Bam Bam, aka Real Ryte Sport, and Mark Waiters, also known as Telly, found out that a Bread Gang member was at a specific location in the vicinity of Essex Street and Hester Street in Lower Manhattan. Smith and Waiters traveled to the location and shot an innocent person sitting in his car whom they mistook for their intended target. The victim was seriously injured, but survived the shooting. In 2018, members of the
Niggas gotta do better, man. What the fuck are y'all doing? How y'all just gonna hit a random dude? God bless, he's still alive, man. That's crazy.
Brims agreed to commit and orchestrated a violent assault against bartenders at a nightclub in Queens called Angels, because members of the enterprise believed the bartenders had disrespected another member of the gang. Specifically, Star Brim, who was incarcerated.
Member of
the gang.
Why is she so awk, bro?
Star Brim, who was incarcerated in Danbury at the time.
Imagine Shorty come up to you like, yo, you cute, yo.
Star Brim, who was
incarcerated. What's up, young man? What's up, young man?
Commissioned her subordinates, known as drops, to execute an assault on the bartenders. Despite being incarcerated, Star Brim nevertheless wielded the power of the enterprise to orchestrate the attack and directed multiple 5'9" Brim members, including Lane and Chuck, that Brim's members needed to deliver the message.
Yeah, her body fit now. I think she okay. I think she had her baby and she got her body done, so she not super aki like that no more. But yo, she's so aki right there, like, bro, what?
I want hands put on them. I don't even want no talking. Defendant Lane agreed with Star Brim that the assault needed to be executed, and that if Star Brim's drops failed to do so, Lane would take care of it herself. On August 15, 2018, following the orders, Chuck, Love, Zambrano, and 3 of Respas's drops assembled at Angels nightclub. Surveillance footage inside the venue.
That video is too much, bro. You gotta stop playing that video.
Of the premeditated assault on the bartender. Chuck and Zambrano stood at the corner of the bar next to several women. A woman standing next to Chuck ordered a drink from the intended target and then lured her closer, gesturing for her to lean towards them. As Chuck stood by with a cell phone camera trained on the intended victim, the women next to Chuck grabbed the bartender's hair and, along with 2 other women, repeatedly beat her head while pulling her over the bar. Ultimately, the assailants threw a bottle at the bartender. Throughout, Chuck stood next to the women with his cellular telephone's camera filming the entire assault. After the attack, the video captured by defendant Chuck was sent to the gang member on behalf of whom Star Brim had ordered the assault. Dissatisfied with the first attack, Star Brim continued communicating with other enterprise members about the assault, and discussed whether the assault was vicious enough, or if the Brims needed to do them more dirtier than that. Another assault ultimately did take place, approximately 2 weeks later, during which several members of the 5'9" Brims, including defendant Chuck, attacked the same targeted bartenders at Angels. On August 29th, Cardi B, Chuck and Tawana were charged with that allegedly. The 3 of them pelted a 23-year-old woman with bottles and drinks, and attacked another woman. Chuck allegedly recorded it all, and prevented anyone from helping. Cardi B and Jackson Tawana, 36, allegedly planned the attack and exchanged cash for it. They all pleaded not guilty and were released on bail. Chuck allegedly served as muscle for Cardi B as just one chapter in his lengthy criminal history. Jeffrey Bush, also known as Chuck, was a high-ranking member of the Brooklyn 5'9" Brims before he was arrested in August 2019. The investigation revealed that Chuck obtained coke from a supplier, which he cooked into crack in his crib. At least 2 young children had been residing there along with Chuck's girlfriend. A search executed at defendant Chuck's apartment revealed that he was in possession of various narcotics, including a bag containing a white, rocky substance believed to be crack cocaine, unknown pills, and a small amount of a green leafy substance believed to be marijuana, as nearly $15,000 in cash. At the time of defendant Chuck's arrest, a scale commonly used to weigh narcotics was thrown from the window of the apartment and was recovered by law enforcement. Chuck's apartment had various devices, or machines, used to make fraudulent credit cards. This was evidence that there was some scamming going on. Montel Shoemake, also known as Buzzo, is a violent member of the enterprise. As alleged in the indictment, Shoemake conspired with Cease and MACK to murder Real Ryte members. He also participated in the drug trafficking conspiracy and unlawfully possessed firearms. Shoemake faces a mandatory minimum sentence of 5 years to life imprisonment for his crimes. His status in the enterprise has risen over time. Indeed, noluckmacK was recently elevated to the low position for the enterprise in Brooklyn. He reported his promotion to an incarcerated 5'9" Brims member in an October 16, 2019 recorded prison call. During that call, the inmate asked noluckmacK about the current lineup for the enterprise, and noluckmacK informed him, "I'm the LO now." As the low, noluckmacK would be the second highest ranking non-incarcerated Brim behind the high, and the godfather for the enterprise. James Cease, also known as Chop Wop, has committed numerous crimes as part of his membership in the enterprise. He faces a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years' imprisonment, and up to life, if convicted of the charged crimes. Defendant Cease has a history of prior arrests and convictions. Rodolfo Zambrano, also known as Latin Dinero.
Alright, this is the part I guess where everybody go to jail and get locked up, man. I'm just tuned in watching this, man. I'm just trying to get these videos back out here for y'all. But I'm in the video maker mood, man, so I'm gonna find something a little more uplifting, not only this gangster shit, but I wanna get, give something to my supporters who fuck with this type of content, you know what I'm saying? So right now, Chef 2 Blunts, I'm off this shit. Holla at me.